What's up guys, Weezy here and welcome to episode 3 of the Weezy Army. So in today's video we're going to be playing some squad battles as well as be doing some SBCs and some team management stuff to help build the team from episode 2. So in episode 2 you guys saw we did a major pack opening. We opened up a whole hell of a lot of packs. I believe it was 80 premium gold packs. Gave us a good base for the start of our team here, but what we're going to be doing is trying to build from there. So as we start the video here, you guys see we did some SBCs, some of the low-hanging fruit ones. I tried to do a couple of the ones that were a little bit tougher to do. We had a lot of these players in the club. However, we weren't able to accomplish too many of them because it did require us going off the market, or some of them required loyalty, and some of them were just too expensive. I didn't want to put in some of the players that were required to do it. So I also didn't want to take a major risks on some of these because the packs that we were giving out weren't massive. So I thought I would try to do one where you actually get a premium player pack. However, our best player there was only 79 rated Arnold. So major letdown there. So Arnold is a player that I've seen pretty much packed in almost every pack opening that I've ever watched. He's like, I feel like he's the most common card in the entire game. And then we didn't really get too much else. We'll get a couple other guys that might be good for some league SBCs once they come out. But right now, we'll just put them in the club, just hide them in there because they're just going to sit there and do nothing. But before we jump into some of the other SBCs, also, if you guys could leave a like on the video or leave any comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. Back to the actual action itself here. So the SBCs that we were doing, we decided to do some of the welcome back type ones. Brick slots. Excuse me, I got a little bit of tickle in my throat there. But the brick slots here, that was really simple to do. All you have to do is punch in a couple guys, and essentially it gives you the position change cards that you need for your second the SBC, which is just bronze players. Like, you didn't even really need them to link. You could just get guys that are like a left wing or a left mid, left striker, and a left striker. You need a left wing, a striker, and a right wing, excuse me. So you just use the left wing to left forward and the right wing to right forward. Really simple to do. And then this next one, you just need 2 hard links and a soft link. They were really cheap. They were just cards that I had in my club. They were very simple to do. Most guys would probably have this stuff. You might have to buy 1 or 2 cards, but from your beginner packs, my philosophy with this is even if you don't have anybody that links up, just use 1 or 2 of the guys that you have. So like I said, you only need 2 actual hard links. Excuse me, I don't know why I was drawing a blank there, but hard links. So just get, like, if you have got a cam from the Danish league, put the cam from the Danish league, and if you've got like a center back from the Chilean league, put him as the center back, and then just base it off of that and go from there. But you don't actually have to use the ones on Futbin. I actually find the ones on Futbin are the worst ones to possibly do. Use the formula for making it work, but don't go and actually copy the guys on Futbin because everyone else is doing that, and those guys' price goes through the roof. So a good way to actually make coins is to try and get your squad on Futbin and then invest in those players, but that's a very risky formula. Some guys have tried to do that, but again, like, just use the actual links. Like, pay attention to the links that are on Futbin, but you don't actually have to go in and buy those players because, as I said before, they are going to be very expensive, so it's not worth doing. This final one, the Loyal Lads, this one was fairly simple to do. I believe you just needed 3 Englishmen from 3 different leagues, and I only had to use 1 position change there, which was moving the center mid to a center defensive mid. I'm prepared to do that even if that coin or if that card costs something. I was fine with using it. It wasn't a big deal. The silver player packs I don't really care that much about. Maybe they'll have some use in the future, but I care about stuff right now. I want good players right now. You want to get like the Suarez and the Neymars and the Messis of the world right now. You don't want to be thinking about investments in January when they release the French league SBC. You want to be worried about guys that you can get today and getting really cool packs right now. So that's pretty much everyone's thought process. It's just really annoying to have to deal with that stuff. So I would rather just get guys that you can get immediately. But what are you going to do? You know, you have to kind of deal with some of these guys that are just hanging around your club for a while. So just keep them in there because they will be valuable in the future. So as we completed those 4, you do get a premium loan players pack and as you guys can see this, the 2-player silver pack, so I don't expect anything from that. Maybe you'll get an inform if you're very lucky, but again, I probably won't even know most of the guys that are in it, so I had no idea who this was. The silver Belgian goalkeeper and a Turkish player. I don't even know if that one is actually tradable. I don't think these are tradable because they are one of the easier SBCs to do, and most of the low-rated SBCs that are like the welcome backs, all of those cards are untradeable. But we do get this, which is what I was hoping to get somebody good for, even though it's a loan. But we get Cotes. I was so irritated getting this card. As you guys can see here, I just did discard it. Even though it was worth nothing, you get 0 coins back. I was never going to use it. You can't use the guy in an SBC. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to discard it. A lot of people discard the managers too. Like, I like to discard managers from paid packs, but the reason I do that is because you get so many free packs throughout the course of the year where you get untradables. I just let those guys fill up my club. So we do jump into a couple games here. We play 3 squad battle games in this episode. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Squad battles. We only had our first game in the last episode, in episode 2 there, where we did win. And I've just been playing on semi-pro. So the reason for that is I've seen a lot of people play on Legendary. I've seen a lot of people play on Professional and whatnot. And I was interested to see what I could basically get from squad battles from playing on really low rated. I don't like playing the computer. I prefer playing online. Playing the computer I did last year sometimes when I either just wanted a cheap prize from one of the tournaments, or if I just needed fitness or just wanted to take my mind off it. That was the only other time if I was playing really tight games and I'm just like, I don't feel like quitting FIFA right yet. I don't want to stop playing it, but I also don't want to play in like a sweaty, tight contest online. So maybe I'll just go and play an offline game on simple. I'll play the Amateur Cup and just kind of roll through it or whatever. So I didn't play that many offline games last year, but I ended up having probably more than I have in past years, just because there was more rewards and stuff like that you could get for doing it. I also played some of the seasons just when I wanted, like I said, to take my mind off of playing online. But the squad battles this year obviously has added a whole new dimension to it. So it's been reviewed quite well. People seem to be taking quite a liking to it, especially in the YouTube community. You're seeing a lot of guys focus a lot of their videos on it. You haven't really seen too much online play. I feel like this is going to burn out a little bit. I don't see people playing it on like all year unless you're just an offline guy, and one of the elements that you didn't like about Ultimate Team was the fact that it's pretty much all online. So it does add that new dimension to the game. However, with that being said, it's not something that, like I said, I plan on playing all year, because it is quite tedious and I do hate playing the computer, especially on high levels. So I wanted to see what I could essentially get from playing on amateur and semi-pro and, maybe even professional. But it looked like they were quite achievable rewards. The earlier levels, you can roll through them because it doesn't require a lot of points, only 900 points to get through most of the bronze ones. And then once you get to the higher golds and elites, I think it's like you're looking at 5,000-10,000 points. So you're actually having to start adding quite a few games in order to separate yourself between those divisions. But I wanted to see if I just played all of my games on really low levels, where I would end up. I don't play every single day. I don't play multiple games every single day. I don't play like 10-12 games a day. So if I played maybe an average of 20 or 30 games throughout the course of the week offline, and if they are on semi-pro, I want to see kind of where I end up. Because if it's the difference between playing or finishing between gold 3 and gold 2, or gold 2 and gold 1, or even gold 3 and gold 1, I would prefer to do that just offline and just deal with the, maybe the 5K difference or an extra pack here and there, if it meant that I didn't have to worry about playing really stressful games. These games are not games that are fun to play if you're playing them on Legendary. I know they're challenging. You can challenge yourself against the computer, and I advocate that in anybody that enjoys playing against the computer. But like you guys see in a lot of I cut out a lot of the highlights, but the computer will foul you. It'll do stupid things, and when it wants to score, it'll score. Like even if you're playing on semi-pro, one of the things that I've noticed, which you guys will see in some of the future games here, is playing on semi-pro. This game is semi-pro that you're watching right now, and it was causing me problems. I'm embarrassed to admit that because like semi-pro is not hard, and it's like granted I wasn't trying very hard, I guess you would say. Like I was just kind of casually passing the ball around. It wasn't like I was in grind mode where I was like trying to just go ultra attacking and just trying to score. I was trying to play casually, and I wasn't expecting the computer to cause me any problems. But as I quickly learned, like especially as we get later in the game here, this is in the 77th minute, I believe that penalty was, and I'm only up 2-0. You know, and one of them was a penalty, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to do beating the computer on semi-pro, like especially if you're playing in some of these better teams that are in the squad builder challenge or the squad battle, excuse me. There are some decent teams that are out there, and they're going to cause problems. So later in the game here, you guys see this. The computer actually ends up scoring a goal. I think this is the first goal that I conceded to the computer. And it was just very frustrating. I was just trying to hold on, and they decided to just go an ultra attacking or whatever. So I was just I was turning the ball over left and right, and I thought it was a foul. It fouls me on the line there if you guys rewind it. And then the ball was going to go out of bounds, and another frustration is like if I would have manually done this in person, like human controlled, he would have ran the ball out of bounds. But the computer miraculously keeps the ball and plays like this beautiful lob ball in behind my defenders, and then he whips in across far post. It looks totally legit when you watch it back on replay, but when I was playing it, it felt like so much more cheese. Like the computer just gets away with such nonsense. Like there were so many times where I was in the box and the computer would come, wrap tackle me, and if I saw the computer coming, I try to avoid it and I'll try to run away from the computer like it does to you. However, it will wrap tackle, and even if it doesn't touch the ball in the box, it won't give a foul. And I'm just thinking, like, this is the type of stuff that makes me not want to play offline, because the computer just gets away with such BS, and it will almost never get calls. I'm actually amazed that I was able to get 2 penalties, like, so far in the series, that have had 2 penalties, because I don't remember almost ever getting penalties in previous FIFAs, and in this one, there were so many other times where I was actually getting fouled, and I was in shock that I wasn't getting calls on them, because I was like, these are clear fouls. If you would have done them against somebody else online, easily that you would have gotten a red card or a penalty or something like that. But one of the other things I wanted to point out here was that I also had Jack Wilshere in the team. I wanted to draw attention to the fact that I had been doing some trading offline, a couple SBCs on the web app and stuff like that in between games. So you guys aren't going to see every single thing I do. So if there's coin inconsistencies, I don't do anything shady. I don't like bring coins from another account over. Whether you want to believe that or not, be my guest. But I'm telling you I don't. But I do some trading. So I'll try to. The only reason I didn't include it in the series is 1, because it's on the web app, and 2, it's annoying to kind of capture stuff on the web app. And I just figured it wasn't that interesting. Like, you guys aren't concerned. I like to think most of you aren't concerned with sitting there like judging every single thing I do. But I will try to include everything that's like major coin acquisition. So if I sell big players, or if I make good money off of trading, I do a little bit of trading on the series online using my actual console. So you guys will see later, there's a player that I made some decent money off. So I'll include that just so you guys have the tips, but I'm not going to sit there and monotonously go through every single fitness card that I sell so you guys can track every single penny. Like, you guys have better things to do than do that. I like to think if you're watching this series, it's just for entertainment purposes. But the second game that we come in against, again, this was on semi-pro, and this team that we were playing against, you guys saw that Ronaldo's 94 rated card, and then Neymar and Paulo Dybala. These three caused me an absolute nightmare. So I try to include any clips that were complementary to my attack in this game. That was the only one that I had, that Lacazette one-timer miss shot. Like, that Ronaldo was causing me nightmares. Like, even though it was semi-pro, I maybe was kind of caught a little bit off guard. I quickly, like, woke up, especially after it scored this goal. But I can tell you for a fact, like, even though my defense isn't the greatest in terms of the players, like, I do pride myself on being a fairly good defender. This team was cutting it open. Like, I just could not stop. They were just coming at me in waves. Basically, the entire first half. Like, this is not the best example here because it's just poor defending. That's me kind of rage tackling. But, like, trying to stay in front of them there. You guys see Bakayoko. I'm trying to jockey, trying to figure out which way he's going to go. The computer with Ronaldo was just so good. Bang, bang, off the crossbar. Takes this ball. One-timer shot. Top corner. Like, I just couldn't stop it. I didn't know what was going on. I was totally overwhelmed. This was literally my face, like, what is going on here? This is on semi-professional. This Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain scoring this goal. But those front three were just a total horror show for me. Especially Ronaldo. Ronaldo was everywhere. He was taking the ball, he was tackling, he was tracking back. He felt like the best player in FIFA ever. Like, he was just all over the place, and you couldn't stop him. I can only imagine having him in your team. Like, the players really this year, like the star players, really feel like star players. But like once you start playing some teams that are going to be like all icons, they're going to be a total nightmare to play. Like, I can't wait till I get a couple high-rated informs and stuff in the squad. If I can get like a team of the year, a couple team of the seasons, even some high-rated informs or icons. If I can get Maradona in the team, I'll be absolutely over the moon. But like, you'll see that these guys look like they're really making a difference. They really feel like they're a total class above the rest. So I did realize that this formation wasn't working for me. So one of the things that I learned very quickly too is that playing in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, which is my preferred formation, it might work online. We might go back to it online. But while I'm playing the computer in squad battles, I'm going to have to play in a 4-2-3-1. I don't mind it. I don't like the attack in a 4-2-3-1. I like the presence in the midfield, but basically the big reason for that is the width. The computer stretches the ball across from side to side all the time. And if you're playing in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, it plays very narrow this year. The computer, again, scores a third there. I was thinking it was pretty much game over at this point. So, like, I was like, okay, this is pretty much a lost cause. These guys are just too good. But switching to a 4-2-3-1, I did feel a little bit different. It didn't feel like they were able to kind of stretch me out as much as possible, or as much as they were before. And I was able to actually garner a little bit more attack. But after that goal, what we did decide to do, I was like, okay, I'm down 3-0. Something's got to change here. I just decided to go on ultra attacking. And almost immediately, you just notice a difference. So one of my qualms, or one of my frustrations with the game, which ends up proving to be something that helped me in this game, is the fact that when you go ultra attacking, the other team just falls through the floor. So I've hated this for a long time in the sense that I get the other team should push up and be a lot more attacking, but I feel like when I'm up 3-0 against an opponent online, all he has to do is go ultra attacking and my team just drops to the floor. So even though you're outworking them, you're outsmarting them, you're playing better FIFA, as soon as the other guy decides to go ultra attacking, like, you're pretty much dead. Like, you can't do anything because your players are just giving the ball away. His players start buzzing around like bees. And just look at it from my standpoint, I was just like, okay, I pulled 2 goals back. Don't get me wrong, I was happy I did it. But with that being said, it was very frustrating because you can't do anything about it. Like, this is the computer, so I don't feel as bad. But if this was online, I would have felt bad for the guy because the computer in this case was killing me. It was literally killing me. That first half, I had one highlight, and it was like a one-timer shot that wasn't even ever close to going into the goal. So I was down 3-2 at this point. I was just still on ultra attacking, and I was just pressing. The team felt totally different. Maybe it was just because I was paying attention now and I was really trying to attack, but I felt like just going ultra attacking just pushed my players up. They finally woke up. We were down 3-2, and all I cared about was just trying to get a draw out of this. So as we move forward here, trying to create something, and Mesut Ozil with a great give and go. I love the fact that, especially on ultra attacking, when you pass, he actually made the move. I didn't have to send him on a run. I don't know what causes that. A lot of the time when they pass, they just kind of stand there, especially when the game's working against you. But when they pass and they make that darting run, you just go, okay, I better play the ball back to this guy. So he scored, made it 3-3, and I was over the moon. At this point, I was totally happy with just 3-3. But then we do get one other opportunity here, but a great save from, I believe it was Baumann, his keeper. And I was like, you know what, I'll take the draw here. That was my chance there. But I do create one more here. Alexander Lacazette, 88th minute. Little bit cheesy. Sergio Ramos slides through it, but Alexander Lacazette with his weird celebration there does bury it low to the near post there. So I was very happy. I was over the moon. Yeah, it's embarrassing enough that this is on semi-pro and I'm dealing with this type of brain damage from the computer. But I was honestly, at this point, all I cared about was just the fact that I was in the lead. I didn't care how I did it. I didn't care if it was on amateur. And we actually ended up getting a final and a 5th goal there in the 90th minute. Eden Hazard, when he came on, he felt like he made all the difference. So like I said, all of these star players, even Mesut Ozil, who I've never had good success with in the past, he felt like a real dominant player. Like, bringing these star guys on as lone players, I mean, just having them in the team just felt like all the difference, because having a regular schlub up there like a Ross Barkley, no offense to Ross Barkley, but you know he's not Eden Hazard, so they just made all the difference in the world. So I can't wait till I get an actual decent team. I'm trying not to spend a crazy amount of money here in order to get it early, because you guys know that I like special cards, so I'm waiting till some other cards come out. I'm sure I'll end up spending more money once I see cards that I actually like a lot more, but right now I was just happy getting that win. I didn't care how I did it or who scored it, and we do get 1,500 coins, but even on semi-pro, it doesn't matter. I was happy to be past that. So as we head into the next game, one of the things that I decided to do was, again, switch it down to amateur. The other reason I did that was because I said before I was trying to play with the lower rated, easier, even if you have to go to beginner. I wanted to see if you pumped a team like 7-8-0, if you got more squad battle points than you would if you drew 1-1 or if you won 2-1 on legendary. So I was very interested to see how your points come in. Obviously on legendary you're probably going to get almost double this, but you know, do you want to deal with the stress of playing on legendary? It's totally up to you. I don't like it because, as you guys know, as I said, I hate dealing with the computer. I think it's cheap. It's not very fun. It's not the most rewarding beating the computer. It feels like you're beating up, you know, the computer. It doesn't feel like you're beating anybody. It just feels like, okay, I'm doing something that I should be doing. I should be beating the computer, even on the hardest settings. So I decided to just drop it down to amateur, just play it on a real easy mode, and I wanted to see how many squad battle points I get. Now, with that being said, playing this is the 4th game. So as you guys work from left to right, I think the actual points that you can get, because the teams do get increasingly better, I think the points get higher. So that's something to factor into this game's overall points. But to ruin the result a little bit, obviously playing on amateur, this is not going to be the hardest thing in the world, even though he's got Messi and Ronaldo. But I do kill the computer here. So I just left the goals in so you guys can see. But we did get more points on amateur beating this team than we did on semi-pro. So I thought that was very interesting. So playing on amateur, just pumping it like 7-8-0, you'll get more points than beating it on semi-pro. Now, like I said, the other thing to take into account is the fact that this was the last game, so you might actually get more points for playing a harder team. So at the start, when it shows you the points that you can get overall, I think that last team will actually give you the more. So it probably did offset a little bit, but even then, even if I took 200 points or whatever it was into account, I still finished. I think the first one was like 770. I think this one was like 790. So even if you took the 200-300, they're about the same. So playing it on a really easier mode, killing the computer, is probably going to give you just as many points as it would playing on a tougher level up. So what you guys should really do is just figure out what level you're comfortable with. Just play real simply, and then just, you know, you might have to play twice as many games than you would on legendary, but you're gonna have a lot more brain cells at the end of it. I know this isn't the most engaging thing in the world. It's not the funnest thing to do, just walking up and hitting belters. It can be fun for, you know, maybe a game or two, but it's not fun to do for 50 games because there's no real thought process required in it. But maybe playing on semi-pro is the answer for you. Maybe playing on professional rather than world class is the answer for you. But all I'm saying is, for this, just, you don't have to play on legendary. If you want to get into the top 100, I get it, challenge yourself. But for me personally, I'm not concerned with getting in the top 100. I think I've played maybe 12 games because I played a couple offline yesterday that aren't going to be on camera. I apologize because I didn't have the ability to game capture it yesterday. But I've played about 12 games so far, and I've just been playing on real simple modes, semi-pro, amateur, depending on what the team was. And I think I'm at like gold 3 right now, which even if I finished at gold 3, I'd be happy. It's whatever, like 10,000 coins and a couple packs. But, you know, if I play any more during the week, I could add, you know, I could potentially jump up to gold 2, gold 1, even maybe elite 3. Elite 2 and elite 1, I might have to play a lot of games in order to get into that division. But hey, to finish elite 3, from just playing like offline amateur or offline semi-pro games, I'll gladly take that. Those are pretty good rewards for doing very little. So if you're not a very good FIFA player, if you're intimidated from playing on high levels or playing online, I suggest just going on and playing real simply, playing the computer at a real simple level in these squad battles, and you can get some decent rewards for it. You know, especially for guys that, like I said, play online and maybe get pumped and they don't have a good team, they don't put money on the game. You can get, you know, 10, 12,000 coins and a couple packs every week. You know, that's enough that you'll be able to build a decent team before you know it. An actual team that's like a meta team, one of the cheap meta teams for the BPL or whatever, and be able to compete online at least. So it's better than nothing. I'd prefer doing that, but if you really want to compete, obviously playing on Legendary or World Class is where you got to do in order to get into the top 100. But you don't have to be in the top 100 to enjoy FIFA. It's not all about just competitive gaming. Just go out and play games and have fun. So the next episode, I'm just going to try to make it all online games. For a couple reasons. The squad battles were fun, but I don't think it's the most engaging content. Like, obviously, you guys don't want to see me just pump the computer 7-1 on amateur. It doesn't make, or 7-0. I like to think the computer wouldn't score on me on amateur, but, you know, playing on amateur, playing on semi-pro is not the most engaging thing in the world. It was probably funny watching me almost lose to a team on semi-pro with Ronaldo, but with that being said, I want to go online. I want to play some of these guys. My team is decent enough that I'm prepared to take it into some seasons and even some single online matches. You know, I don't have world beater team, but at the same time, I've got now a pretty well-rounded team because I did, like I said, played yesterday. I did play some more squad battle games, and I was able to pick up a couple of extra players to fill in some of these gaps. So as you guys see there, 794. I'm almost at silver 1 from what you guys saw, and I think yesterday I went up a couple more divisions, and like I said, I think I'm at gold 3. So gold 3 is where you'll probably see me in the next episode, which I'm going to try to record today or the very latest tomorrow. So you should see that in the next couple days. But playing those games is not something that I wanted to put on the channel just because they were a little bit boring. They're very simple to do. I just wanted to roll them out and see how far I could get. I just needed to get a bunch more games under my belt, but I wasn't concerned about the actual competitive level. These are some of the teams that we will be coming up against that you guys won't see. They're games that I played yesterday, but these are the opponents that I played against, and I beat them all on very high scores. They were like 7-0, 8-0, 6-0, whatnot. So this is the team as we kind of head towards the close of the video. That was pretty much it for the gameplay, but I wanted to show you guys where the team was going to leave off. We did pick up Jack Wilshere. We got him in an SBC that was between episode 2 and episode 3 here. Jack Wilshere came in an SVC that I got on the web app for doing one of the simple, or it might have even been one of the daily rewards, but I think you just did a couple daily rewards and you get an actual pack from it, and Jack Wilshere was one of the better cards that we got. So we did sell a couple players. We sold Nelson Semedo for about almost 8K, and then we sold Bakayoko for 22, and I used a lot of those coins to pick up Gabriel Jesus. So since we do have Aguero and Lacazette, those are the two main guys right now, but they are both loans, so I needed a striker, and let me tell you, you guys will see this in future episodes, I hope, but at least from the games that I played yesterday, Gabriel Jesus is awesome. He is well worth the 40K. I think we got him for 44. He's dropped a little bit because when I recorded this, it was Friday. It was when guys were getting the standard edition, but he is worth every single penny. And then here, Mario Lanzini. Is it Mario Lanzini? I can't remember. I can't see his actual name, but Lanzini, the Argentinian from West Ham, we included that because I was buying Lanzinis for between 4,000 to 47-ish, and then I was selling them for 5,600. So the reason that I put that in there was I wanted to show you guys some of my trading methods. What I do is I basically pick up kind of like a mid-range guy or whatever your coins can suffice. You find a guy that's actually selling from a popular league, a player that guys would want, that they could afford, and guys that you can obviously buy multiples of. I did this last year with Nelson Semedo, but you essentially figure out what they're selling for and then set like a budget or a cutoff for what you want your actual players to come in under. So he was selling for 5,600. I was buying them all for, like, I wouldn't go higher than 5,000 because I don't think there's much benefit in just getting a couple hundred coins. So I would just bid, and I was winning these guys for 42, 46, 44, whatever it was, and you'd make about 1,000 coins. So within 10 minutes, It can be a little bit tedious, a little bit boring if you're doing this for long periods of time, but just doing this over and over and over, I made about 10,000 coins in like 10, 12 minutes or whatever it was. So definitely one of my trading methods, something to consider. But as we head into the end of the video here, guys, you guys saw I did one more SBC. Our pack luck's dried up a little bit, but hoping that once some of the better packs come out, we can start grinding out some of these SBCs. So until the next episode, which you guys will see in the next couple days, please leave a like on the video down below. Leave any comments or questions you guys have. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. And watch out for episode 4. Until then, guys, take care. Peace.